This is Zephaniah 3:19. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halted, and gather her that was driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash, Double Iron City Apostles and Elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you, Akim, pushing this word with true sincerity, with charity, presenting your bodies a living sacrifice. We who are ready to live, salute you. So I just want to go into a quick lesson. It's going to be a response to the Elder Malcolm's lesson. Pulling it up right now. Well, I don't know what that was all about. Let's see if I get back to it. Right. This lesson right here.
Confusion, a mixture.
Elder Malcolm did says civil war will be bloody and chaotic, which is the reason why I brought out that scripture. I will undo all that afflict thee, because this is the process of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai undoing all that afflict us. This is the process of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai undoing our enemies, which are really his enemies. Okay, but I'm gonna play a little bit of this video, and then I'm gonna get some couple scriptures.
Sure. And then you're gonna have all the migrants from South America, who are mostly Israelites of the Northern Kingdom, coming here for either judgment or coming here to be delivered, because the great deliverance is going to happen here, and America is about to go absolutely apeshit. All right, it's about to go ham out here. So without any further ado, we're going to play about 5 minutes and 40 seconds of the Patriots Nurse. Will it begin in Texas?
Our democracy.
After this stupid-ass commercial.
It really does, folks.
With these two clowns.
Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, we're going to discuss the latest constitutional crisis that is centering around the standoff between the feds and between the state of Texas. So this week, the Biden administration launched an emergency stay appeal to the Supreme Court. There's a lot of back and forth with this, but essentially the concertina wire that Texas had erected to secure its border, particularly its border that is along areas that are not ports of entry, so the undefended border, relatively speaking. The Biden administration petitioned, by the way, taking our tax dollars to do so, to be able to go and cut concertina wire to just let people keep walking across. And so this is setting off a back and forth that really has been an ongoing issue with immigration, and that is the failure of the federal government to execute upon its required duties, and actually its duties that it has constitutional purview to police to act upon. It's derelict in its duties, and because it has become derelict.
Right, and it makes me think about the scriptures. It calls this place the land of unwalled villages. All right, because let me grab a scripture. Right, this is Nahum 3:13. Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. Right, so the Lord's saying, man, the mighty men of Babylon are gonna become bitches, man. They're gonna become bitches, right? The gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies. The fire shall devour thy bars. Okay, and that's what's gonna happen to America, Babylon the Great, man. You know, that's what's going to happen to America, Babylon the Great, man. All right, her gates are going to be set wide open. It's going to be an invasion. Hold on. All right. This is Jeremiah 51:12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. Yahweh hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. All right, so he's preparing the judgment against this place. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, right? Because America has garrisons in all these different countries, man. All right. They have soldiers in all these different countries, man. All right. They're pretty much stretched thin, just like the ancient Roman Empire was. Okay. Stretched too thin. O that thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thy end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. Yahweh, power of hosts, have sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. So Yahweh Shemi Shai is going to fill this place with men, which we're watching that happen right now with this with these so-called migrants, which are really an invasion. See, what Americans are realizing is that their government is attacking them, and has been for a while. All right, and they're using foreign entities to basically create an army to basically destroy them. Because what's going to happen is, as it says in the book of Joel, I will remove far off from you the northern army. All right, so the northern army is going to be mainly, which is the American army, is going to be mainly funneled into the Middle East, man, which is what the scriptures call the Valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's judgment. All right, the Valley of Decision, okay, as the scripture says. And that's where the Lord's going to judge them, pursuant to the book of 2nd Ezra. All right, talks about how the Lord came with a fathership and basically cooked all these nations, man. And how they stopped fighting against each other and tried to fight the Lord, man. That's the war in heaven, man. All right. But what we're seeing right now is basically a civil war brewing. All right. But I'm gonna play a little bit more of this.
In its duties, and it's not just allowing, but it's full-fledged facilitating the invasion of the United States, using our tax dollars to flood in, open up the gates to anybody who wants to come here, to get on the welfare system, to take from the United States tax dollar. This standoff between the feds doing this and then sovereign states saying enough is enough, we can't take care of our people, and oh, by the way, there are criminal elements that are crossing through the borders, there are public health threats that are crossing through the border, and there's also infrastructure needs that come secondary to being flooded with between 6 to 13 million illegals that we cannot meet. So what's happening now is the Biden administration is effectively saying that they're going to continue allowing this, and they're going to get into locking horns, no pun intended, with the state of Texas on this. And over the past 24 hours, there have been 17 states, I believe, at this point. There probably will be more by the time that this video airs. 17 states that have said, no, we're with the state of Texas. If Texas decides to defend its borders, it has the constitutional purview to do so when the federal government has become derelict in its duties. Oh, by the way, the federal government in our United States Constitution, the federal government has very few. The powers of the federal government are supposed to be few and limited. And of its powers that the Constitution grants the federal government, securing the national border and protecting the states from invasion, that is a very strongly worded language. It's shall defend the borders, right? Not may, not okay if you feel like it, but shall. That means you better freaking do it from a constitutional standpoint. And so I'll put links in the description box below to these key points of law that it's important for us to really be informed on. And Governor Abbott this week released a statement wherein he enumerated essentially the legal precedent for Texas defying the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is, by the way, they are not the law of the land. I'll say that again. The Supreme Court is not the law of the land. They are not the final word of the land. The Constitution of the United States is the law of the land. So when the Supreme Court decides that it wants to flex and not go with what the Constitution says, then not only is the Supreme Court's decision null and void, but it would be unconstitutional for any state to enforce a law that was deemed, even though it was unconstitutional, constitutional. The Dred Scott case, there have been various different times throughout United States history where the Supreme Court has really screwed up big time. And especially if this thing continues to go the way that I think it will, we're going to see an escalation of this. Obviously, this is happening in an election time, election season, and there are political points to be scored here. But I think we would be remiss to allow this fact that this is happening during an election cycle to obfuscate the point here. And the bigger point here is that the federal government is the greatest single pressing threat to the rights and securities of the citizenry of the United States. The federal government is facilitating the invasion and the violation of the rights of the citizenry of the United States. What they are doing on our southern border, by spending taxpayer dollars to go down there and cut concertina wire to make the border more porous, and then to take more federal tax dollars to support these invaders coming in, whether it's in grants for housing or in free healthcare initiatives, iPhone, whatever it is. That is no less of a travesty as it would be as if they funded the Japs bombing Pearl Harbor in World War II.
Made with love at every step of the way. 1-800-Flowers. Share with love.
Then, oh man, then they go double up on you, sons of bitches.
They are facilitating the degradation of the sovereignty and the border integrity of the United States, and the burden of their dereliction of duty is falling squarely upon states and upon citizens outside of that, because we have to pay taxes. And all of this nonsense is happening, whether it's with immigration, for taking these people in, and then having them each with, $3,000 of an allowance that they're given, plus an iPhone, and then they get subsidized housing. And then the state of California, everybody there apparently gets healthcare for free now. So who pays for all this? Even people in border states pay for this. At a time when roughly 40% of Americans are priced out of basic housing, the Biden administration is saying, bring them on in. Oh, by the way, our people can't put a roof over their heads. Our veterans are homeless in the streets, living under bridges and in their cars. And we're bringing in all of the rest of the world. My friends who are legal immigrants of the United States are some of the most livid about it of anybody I know, because they didn't get to jump borders and come over here and have everything given to them and have their children grandfathered in and get.
So you can see that she's pissed, and the world is not very happy about what's going on here. All right, but hold on, let me.
So yeah, you could check out the Elders lesson, man. It's a really good lesson, and yeah, man, this is where we're at, man. You know, this is where we're at, and really, it's like a long time coming, showing you how docile these Americans have been made here in Babylon the Great, man. The men have been emasculated in this place. They've totally attacked masculinity, all right, and they've emasculated the women, you know, and it made a weak society. Whereas if this had to happen, these things had to happen 10, 15 years, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it would have been a civil war already, man. They would have probably already overthrew the government, but this is going to show you that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, this is his work. These things are, as the scripture says, by measuring has he measured the time, by numbering has he numbered it. He does not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So this is the time when Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is bringing these things to pass. Now I'm going to grab one more scripture. I'm going to end it on that note. This is Isaiah 19:1. The burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved in his presence, and Salaki shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, and that's going to happen, you know, in the Neo-Egyptian empire, you know, because the scripture says what is then is now, all right? And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith Yahweh Power of Hosts. And we're really going to start seeing draconian laws come from the rulers, man. You're going to see more draconian laws, man. You know, you're going to see the guillotines being implemented, man. These soldiers, they're going to be like Judge Dredd, man. They're going to They're gonna judge you on the spot, man. There's not gonna be no due process, man. You're gonna see summary executions, man. All right, it's gonna be total Egyptian against Egyptian, American against American, man. And they're telling you, and they're putting it right in your face. They're coming out with a movie right now called Civil War, man. So they're letting you know. And there was a scene in that movie, which I haven't seen the movie, but I saw the preview. You had a family, and they're like, well, I think the man was like, or the woman was like, I don't remember, but they said something to the effect of, hey, look, this must be some mistake. You know, we're Americans. And the soldier, you know, basically, you know, he was like, yeah, okay, you're Americans. What kind of American? What kind of American you talking about, man? All right. So yeah, that's coming, man. You know, and this is just the beginning of the end of Esau, Edom's kingdom, man, and the beginning of the of our kingdom. Because Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is undoing these devils, man. As the scripture says, thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsel. These motherfuckers can't agree on the color of shites. Okay? And a house divided against itself cannot stand, as the scripture says, man. So, hey, we're getting ready to see, hey, I'm thinking about that song, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. And that's where we're at, man. You know, the scripture says the slain of the Lord shall be from one end of the earth even to the other, man. You know? So, hey, man, this is the perfect time for Babylon the Great to be taken, man. You know? And I'm thinking about this imagery that the brother from GMS, man, let me see if I can pull that up. GMS Watchman, he basically posted it. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up, and I might even use it for a thumbnail. But it was let's see, equal. I'm trying to see. But let me see if I can just get the imagery. Right, it was two eagles fighting, man. Okay. There's two eagles fighting, man. They were all bloody, man. You know. They were all bloody. I'm gonna see if I can go to that brother's page and get that video, man. Hold on. Well, that you know, that's about it. I'm just gonna end it right there. I'll probably just throw that in a thumbnail, man. But yeah, man, that's pretty much what I got. I hope there was some edification within this lesson, and shalom.